Podcast Radio.
You're listening to MC 101 Talk Show. Live. Hosted by Two Guns. Co-hosted by Big Cell. And we talking straight motorcycle protocol. Tune in every Wednesday around 7 p.m. for pure motherfucking facts on FHO Podcast Radio. MC 101. Where motorcycling is life. What up? We on, man. What up, man? What's happening? I know it's Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope that your Christmas was well. I'm not gonna complain, even though I was not expecting the gift that I got. I was kind of, if y'all saw my video earlier, man, with me and the wife, man, wow, that's all I'm gonna tell you. But we're going to figure out how to get it together, man. So y'all know it's Wednesday as promised. First off, I want to tell my man, thank you. Thank you, James. Thank you for taking time on Christmas to continue this every Wednesday show. We could have just easily passed today and, kind of just kept it pushing. But, the dedication is what it is, man. So we on, man. So how was your Christmas, sir?
It was good. Just, doing the things with the fam. My kids was in town, so that's always nice to be able to spend some time with my kids because, every once in a while, I get a chance to, just get them and, they live down in Florida. So it's tough sometimes, trying to juggle them lives and stuff like that. So it was nice to be able to kind of get a chance to spend some time with them.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I preach on in the past is that how you got to make it all work. When you add motorcycling to your lifestyle, to your home life and all that, it can be hectic, man. It can really get out of control. So whenever you have to incorporate all that and manage it all, it can be a bit much, man. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I say, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope, your Christmas was full. I hope you didn't stress out over Christmas. Hope you didn't go in debt, buy a whole bunch of shit that you don't need. You understand what I'm saying?
For real.
And again, do not, if you're watching this on YouTube, I know the screen looks a little blurry with all that Raider shit. So, just kind of get past that, man. We're gonna get you past that, man. So, I've been trying to fix the screen, man, but for whatever reason, I think I'm kind of, it won't change, man. It just is what it is, man. So, hey, man, let's get ready to get into this show, man. We love you guys, man. And again, man, this is from Two Guns, man. This is MC 101. Two Guns, hosted by Two Guns, co-hosted by me, Big Cell. And tonight we got a cold topic for you, Clubhouses. And we're going to touch into, again, MC does not stand for a men's club. And I don't know if you saw I did a thing on that Tuesday morning. Did you see my post I did on that Tuesday morning?
No, I didn't even see it. It's been since, the last day I worked was on Tuesday. So since that time frame, I've been juggling everything in terms of trying to just get the fam together and everything like that. So actually Monday was the first day. So my kids been in town. So man, I've been putting them to work, man. They don't know nothing about no work. Where they at. So when they come back here with me, man, they raking leaves and we doing some business.
That part right there. So all right, well.
But no, I didn't get a chance to see it though.
But that's cool because it's gonna this is just gonna add to what I put on it the other day, and it won't be biased. Everybody thinking it'll be biased. So however you come off across, because I just spoke on this Tuesday morning, man. I woke up and it was I had got a phone call about that same topic, so it's gonna be cool. All right, y'all, let's get prepared for this, man. Let's get this thing started, man. Hold on, y'all.
What up? This is Chris from Exclusive Sounds. When I'm not doing music on bikes, I'm tuned in to the FHO Podcast Radio.
Let You replay that one again. That was my fault on that one. Hold on.
What up? This is Chris from Exclusive Sounds. When I'm not doing music on bikes, I'm tuned in to the FHO Podcast Radio.
Yes, sir.
Shit, man. You thought we was playing. We are live right now.
Checking in from an undisclosed location. This is your boy King Pooh, representing the Kings of the South Atlanta Mother Chapter. And every time I get a chance, best believe I'm listening to my boy Big Cell on FHO Podcast Radio. Let's get it.
It's your boy, Big Cell, FHO's HNIC, Mr. Him Be Everywhere.
Yo, what's up, man? This your boy, man, Mr. Let Me Hold Something himself, DJ Dirty. And you're listening to FHO Podcast Radio with my main man, Big Cell, the FHO ABCDEFGHNIC. Big Cell, come on, man, speak on it, man. Let's ride.
Say, man, it's Wednesday, man. We back on, man. It's your boy, Big Cell, FHO HNIC, man. I got my man, Two Guns in the building. MC 101 Wednesdays. Normally we go on at 7 o'clock. Tonight we kind of pushed it back, let y'all food digest, let y'all get settled in, man, because we going hot tonight, man. It's going down. Real quick, these shout-outs, man. Joseph Fan, what up with it? Captain Kirk, what's happening? R. Caldwell, what's going on with you, brother? Grip, what up, Grip? FHO in the building. Jack Knight, what up, Jack Knight? Sean Beatty, Chris Reynolds, M. Clark, what up, M. Clark? Mr. M. Clark. Marlon Brown, Uncle Pete, C. Wands. I love y'all, man. I really do. I'm seeing some names that I'm just getting familiar with, man. Herb Hardy, H2O. What up, Herb? Castro 32, Fly 1. Okay, Red Line's in the building, man. I see you. Donovan King. What up? KS Silverback. What up, Silverback? Miss Pebbles, what's happening? What's going on, Miss Pebbles? I appreciate the love, little mama. Vernon Poe, what's happening, Mr. Bolo? J Ones, of course. What up, Big Max? Earl Rice, Joseph Pierce. A.W. Harley Rider, what's going on, A.W.? Appreciate you for tuning back in, man. Elton John, C.O. Stanford, DJ Vegas. Hey, DJ Vegas, man, my OG in the game. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you for keeping my head on the swivel, man, for real. Corey Adelt Sr., OG Al, another legend, up-and-coming legend, man. You feel what I'm saying? Antoine the Barber Boy, Lottie Dottie. What's happening, Lottie Dottie? Good to have you back. And on Facebook, where y'all at on Facebook, man? Let me see what we got on Facebook. Do we even got anybody on Facebook? You know, Facebook be so finicky, man. Y'all be tripping. Facebook be tripping, man. You know what I'm talking about? Okay,
yeah,
we got
man.
Charles Smith, Carl LRI, Iceman, Isis Jones. What's going on, Miss Isis? Josie J. What's up, sis? My girl, Josie J. Ragnar. Let me tell you something about Josie, man. When I first was putting this FHO thing together, my girl, Josie J., a.k.a. Lois Lane, man, was helping me, man. It was a big part of that. So I want to give a mad shout out to Miss Josie J., Miss Raglan now. Said Uncut, Ahmad Ali Holiday, Mike Udall, and 22 others, this is what to say. And Chris Haps Bernard. Also, man, to Mike Q Goodall, ATL Hot Wheels, my man Q. The dice was loaded last night. That's how you lost all your money back. You know what I'm talking about? Next time, check the dice, man. Check the dice, man. You know what I'm talking about? Check the dice, man. So we in the building, man. It's Wednesday night, MC 101, Two Guns in the building. He just spoke on earlier. If you're just now tuning in, man, he said he had a hell of a weekend, got the kids in town and some other stuff going on. And now this is gonna be interesting because he already said that he did not even get a chance to hear my topic. He didn't hear my video on this subject the other day, so that's going to be very interesting. Background noise? What about it? You need to cut it down? His background noise is too high? Oh, his background noise is not. Oh, he got it. He was probably moving around doing something. All right, so this is going to be very interesting to hear his take on that, man, as far as that. That was my engineer just walked in the room. You know, I'm trying to be able to afford a few extra people to help me do this show, man. So it is what it is. Guns.
My background noise too loud?
They say your background noise was too loud at the time, I guess. It sound like it do sound like a little echo, so I don't know what you got.
Yeah, it might be my heater. Hold on a second. Let me jump up.
Also, too, if are you listening to the phone and the computer? What are you?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to turn one of them down. One of them gonna have to be all the way down.
Oh, that's what it is, then. Yeah, for sure. I got you.
Yeah, turn one of them all the way down. Yeah, so that should help a lot once you turn one of them all the way down. Yeah.
Yeah, we should be good there.
There it is there. What up, Clarence Campbell, Steve Allen? Okay, we on, man. So, Guns, man, what you got for us tonight? Man, first of all, let me say this, man. Let's speak on your experience for any first-timers listening in. We are privileged, man, to have my man Guns over, 20 years experience in the MC community. Been a part of one of the top 5 major OMCs in the world. In the world, he's been a part of that. One of the top 5 major MCs in the world, and it's just a blessing to have him come here, speak to us, and allow us to answer questions and to ask questions and him answer questions, and for us to get it raw from the top. A lot of times, you guys always say, well, you always getting this information. Who you getting it from? These are the people that I talk to, man, hands down. You can say what you want to say about Big Cell, but he's certified in his knowledge, man. I don't speak on nothing that I don't know, and I do my research and I do my homework and I seek it out, man. So no matter what's going on where you are, no matter what they're telling you, Big Cell is telling you how it's supposed to be. Now, if y'all doing it a different way or getting handled a different way, then hey, that's on y'all. But we is, man. So this is my man Guns. Let's talk about the Guns. Where do you want to start tonight? Where do you want to start at?
Well, let's start on the one of the things I was going to address first off, because it was a topic that was dropped on the page itself. Man, was just aspects of clubs, and we'll touch on the motorcycle thing a little later. But they were talking about clubhouses, and is it a good thing or a bad thing? And one of the things that I've always addressed in terms of clubhouses is understanding if you're going to start a clubhouse or you're going to have a clubhouse, there's elements of having a clubhouse and there's elements of being able to maintain a clubhouse that you have to be wary of. And the first and foremost is clubhouses become businesses. And when clubhouses become businesses, then all of a sudden it takes away from legitimately what you should be doing, and in actuality, you should be actually out riding your fucking bike. I mean, and that's what it comes down to. You guys, clubs, chapters, nations, they should be out putting the miles in, getting a chance to learn each other, brotherhood, things like that. You're never going to learn about your brother sitting in the clubhouse. There's no way you can do that. I mean, one element you're going to learn is you're going to learn probably how that person is when he has too much to drink, and whether he's obnoxious, one of those quiet dudes, or whatever it is. But when it comes to real brotherhood, there's nothing like 1,000 miles. Because in 1,000 miles, that bro's going to go through every emotion that you can go through. He's going to be frustrated. He's going to be happy. You guys might have a good time. You guys might have crossed words. But all in all, what you guys are going to learn is each other and and how you guys deal with certain things. A lot of elements that you're going to learn on that road really brings you back to understanding your brother's demeanor. Some bros are hot-headed. Some bros are quick-tempered. Some bros are laid back. You got other ones that are this and that. And understanding the dynamics of your brothers is real important, because if you have a brother that say he's quick, he's quick-headed or he's hot-headed, you go about certain ways of dealing with that dude. And then you got other bros that's the laid-back bro. Well, you deal with him a certain way. So those are elements that you're going to learn by being on those roads. Now, what I was addressing with a clubhouse and what I've seen in the clubhouse, and I can tell you this from 2 different perspectives. And the first perspective was a clubhouse that really created issues and problems amongst the club, because really they weren't built to that point where we could get a clubhouse. Maintaining the clubhouse, the amount of money that it maintains, it takes to maintain a clubhouse. In all honesty, having the person that understands how to run a clubhouse. Because if you don't have that one guy that understands business savvy, business aspects, you got to have that one person. And look, traditional clubs always on the side that I was on, they don't know nothing about no business manager. But in all honesty, I understand where the business manager elements come from and where that aspect comes from. Because when you get to the clubhouses, and on different sides, on black sides, white sides, on the white side, you really see major clubs with clubhouses. You're not going to see just an average, ordinary club having a clubhouse. Typically, if you have support clubs and things like that, they're just going to go to the dominant and deal with the dominant. Whereas on the black side, you see a little bit more where, in actuality, I've seen or heard of constitutions that require clubhouses, in establishment of the club at a certain level. So, when you're dealing with stuff like that, you got to have those tools to be able to actually effectively run a clubhouse, because there's so many elements of the clubhouse that you don't understand about. And if you're not ready for it, you ain't going to understand. Like alcohol, if you want to do drinks, if you're going to do this, you got to be careful, because all of a sudden it turns into a legal aspect. You got to have a club situated in terms of LLC. It can't be nonprofit, 501s. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that a lot of people don't understand about the business side of that, from just selling a T-shirt. You got to understand how that is. You got to understand about donations. You got to understand about the elements of being able to do that, because that's a slippery slope if you don't have a person that's savvy in that element. So, again, having a clubhouse, and I kind of joked about it on the page, but what I said was you have to make sure that if you're going to have a clubhouse, that you're ready to establish yourself in terms of that, because you're going to have the people to support that. You definitely don't want to have a 3-inch dick trying to put on a XXX jock strap. That shit ain't going to work. It just don't work that way. And I use that as an analogy, but that's true. You can't be a small element or a small club or a small chapter trying to take on $1,500 to $2,000 a month, because ultimately what that does is it comes out of your pocket. And if that clubhouse is not paying for itself, then you're already destined to fail. And it's going to create a lot of problems that you would normally not have to deal with. And that's just keeping it real.
Listen, let's get this part, because you spoke on this earlier as far as how do you separate the two. You just said that brotherhood, you have to be out riding. So if we all have to be out riding, and it's about the riding, and that's how we bond, and that's how we get to the brotherhood. And so really, a clubhouse is sort of a hindrance per se in that aspect. Or do you designate certain members that will be exempt from riding to just run the clubhouse? And I know I'm probably asking a lot of different things, but because my mind is racing, because you said a whole lot in that, and there was a lot of meat in there, and I want y'all to hear what he just said. The other part is you have to have somebody smart enough that understands business, that understands what the purpose of the clubhouse is and how it can transform the club. Number one, I've seen clubhouses ruin clubs. Okay, that's number one. I've seen them destroy a whole club, fighting over money. This brother mad because he got to pay for alcohol, and why do I got to pay for alcohol if it's our clubhouse, and all kind of shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That part of it right there. But let's touch on this part right here. If having a clubhouse puts your MC on another level, then should it be that important to concentrate on the clubhouse, or should it just be something like you said that we just kind of naturally ease into, and it'll happen with a regular progression?
Well, I would say it like this, and this is where I saw the elements happen like this. When I was in Colorado, the issues that we had was we could never get clubs or bars and things like that to allow us to come into the bars because of the quote unquote stigma of a 1% club and that 1% nation. I mean, that's just how it was. A lot of bars didn't want us in there, even if we went in there and we were the greatest of gentlemen, or that's how it was. They just, hey, no, we don't want you guys here. So ultimately what we saw was that we were not going to be able to have or be able to go out and enjoy ourselves and have a good time, or go out and hit those local bars and stuff like that because of that element. So ultimately we shifted over and we went to have a clubhouse. In that element, it was successful because we had 5 chapters that all went in together and basically ran the clubhouse. We had an individual that was really business savvy, and everything was good to go. And so in that element, the clubhouse flourished, and we were able to actually do some things.
So how do you get 5 clubs? You can't even get 5 brothers
5
to
chapters.
agree. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
5 chapters. How do you get 5 chapters to agree on one financial situation? Because you can't even get brothers. You can't even get us 5 to agree 5 minutes on the same on the same pair of shoes. So
I tell you what, man. One thing that we looked at when we all sat down, all the P's sat down in the SAs and all the major players in that nation. We sat down and said, here's the truth, and the matter of fact that we are not going to be able to sustain ourselves out on these streets because they're just not going to let us. So we've got to come to the conclusion and work together. And so, that's a nation and chapters and things like that. they got general love for each other. And a lot of people aren't built like that, and a lot of clubs aren't built like that, and that's just how it was. But in that element in Colorado, we were like that. Now, I'll switch this over where I came out here in North Carolina. When I came to North Carolina, they wanted to have a clubhouse, and I told them from the start, we're just not built like that. We just don't need to have a clubhouse right now. We need to focus on establishing ourselves. The club it was only basically a year, or the chapter was only a year and getting started out, so it was a probationary chapter. The elements had not been established, and all of a sudden it got to the point where the clubhouse became more than writing, and it all went downhill real quick. And the last thing I actually said to him before I just was at the point where I couldn't do anymore was, you can't be playing gangster in the clubhouse, because if you ain't got your patch on the street, especially in that nation, you just, it's a negative scenario and a negative situation. And just like you said, everything changed. All of a sudden it became, why am I paying for this? Why am I paying for that? What is the benefit of this? What is the benefit of that? And just like I told her from the start, is there's no benefit to establishing the clubhouse if you're not built to establish a clubhouse. If you can't get people to come in there on a regular basis, you're not going to make money. If you can't get people to come in there and, basically come to your events and do stuff like that, you're not going to make money. If you're in an area that is so saturated with clubs that everybody's throwing a party every weekend, you're not going to make money. So you've got to be able to establish where you're at and understand where you're at. And there's some dynamics that will just say, you know what, we're just not going to be able to clubhouse. Now, a clubhouse can be anything. It's like I told him. I said, look, a clubhouse could be somebody's backyard. Let's put something on somebody's backyard and let's do it like that. Shit, come to my backyard, I'll throw a motherfucking big ass, one of them pull behind trailers or one of them damn things, and we can just do it right there, because we don't need per se a clubhouse. We just need a place that we have seclusion to be able to have conversations we need to have conversations about. And that's that was kind of where the process is. You got to be built in order for you to be able to establish clubhouse. I've seen clubhouses, man. I seen one in Chicago. I swear it was like 2 in the afternoon, and there was 200 motherfuckers up in here. So you look at that clubhouse, and of course that clubhouse is flourishing. But then again, that's the anomaly. That's the clubhouse that you're not going to see a lot of.
Okay. When considering a clubhouse, should you consider owning the land and the property? Because see what's going on in L.A. and Los Angeles, California, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen the police actually put the pressure on the owner of the property.
Absolutely.
Because they were renting the clubhouse out to a motorcycle club. I've seen them actually pressure the actual, like I said, the owner of the building to either evict this motorcycle club, or we will take this building. And I don't know what rule or what code it was or whatever that they could do that under. But as a motorcycle club, if we own the building outright, do we have a better leeway as far as standing our grounds? Because, and again, it's not that nothing is going on or, with this and this and that. It's just that per se, and this is no disrespect to none of my police officers, but they don't like to see us making it happen, meaning that we're functioning. There is no drama. There is no nothing. Hey, we just, we here with us and we good, and then, like I said, there's no need, because I've been at clubhouses too where they told the police you can't come in unless you got a search warrant. We straight. We didn't call for the police.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
and because of that, the police were constantly, giving everybody tickets and just different little dumb shit. So should owning a clubhouse, should that be a thing? If we can't own it outright, we don't need to have one?
I mean, when you look at it, you look at the legal aspects of being able to do that. And I'll say this real talk. When you said California, I'm going to tell you, man, it ain't just California. It's everywhere you go. I mean, we had the same issues in Colorado. We had the same issues in Florida. We had the same issues everywhere we went. Any clubhouse that I've ever seen that is not owned by the club itself is always going to have those issues. And 9 times out of 10, in a lot of cases, what happens is individuals aren't really real with the people that they're renting this club to. And they'll go there and say, yeah, I'm just trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to do a motorcycle shop, or trying to do this. And then it turns into a clubhouse. And the owner's like, I ain't got no clue what's going on. And 9 times out of 10, when something happens and the police go into a raid, first thing the owner's going to say is, I didn't know nothing about that. I thought it was a motorcycle. I thought it was guys that got together to fix their motorcycle. So, it is what it is in terms of that. But owning your land and being able to own that property, then it brings different levels of legal things that you can do in terms of keeping people out of your property. Because once you own a piece of property, now it is private property. And even in the elements of owning or renting your property, as long as your owner understands that and he's working with you on that, it works the same way. Now, if the owner is going to cave to the pressure of the police, then there's really nothing you can do. What you would establish is once you own your property, there ain't nothing they can do. What you would say to them is, look, this is private property. Sign it as private property and establish that that they cannot enter your premises without legal processes. And that would be their warrant, or, in terms of, if there was a situation or something happened, that would be the only way that they would be allowed to do that. But it provides you with a lot more legal grounds to be able to tell them no, especially if you don't want individuals coming to your property. But if you don't own the property, then they can get a warrant via the owner of the property through a judicial process. But if it's a warrant in terms of they have to have clear, substantial evidence in order for them to be able to obtain that warrant. Now, if they go to the owner and say, we want to search your premises, and the owner caves to it, then there's nothing you can do. They can go in and search your premises, even if you got locks on it, and cut all that off. So, that's where owning your property versus renting your property comes into play. But what I would tell you is, again, if you're going to rent property and you're going to do this as a club in terms of a clubhouse, you better have some of those things in place. And what it should be is what's called a service agreement or master service agreement. And what that service agreement is going to say is that you would maintain, like in terms of the property, that any type of legal aspects or any type of law enforcement elements or things like that, warrants or anything like that, would have to come through you as a third party. So there's a way to be able to set that up through your attorneys in terms of a third party process, so that they can't just come into your property unannounced. And those are some of the stuff that you, again, before you take on the things of a clubhouse, you better not just, hey, man, let's just do this clubhouse. You better know what you're talking about in terms of legal aspects, because there was a case back in, I want to say it was 2012, where a cash register that they had been using as a local business turned into the ability for them to have a warrant. And so they were able to actually go into one of the 1%ers, Big 4 1% club, and they went in there and raided the place and took a bunch of their merchandise, shirts and things like that, belts and all the rest of the stuff, and then tried to charge them with the crime of selling merchandise. And, eventually the DA dropped the charges because they had no legal grounds to be able to do that. And they had no legal grounds. They weren't going to find anybody that was going to go in there and testify and say, yeah, I did this. So ultimately they had to drop the charges. But again, you're talking about significant costs in terms of legal for you to be able to, defend yourself.
And all of this was because they had a cash register.
They had a cash register.
Wow. All right. So we let's get back to the point where if riding is what's going to make the brotherhood or the bond, then how do you manage the clubhouse time for the clubhouse and time for riding? And then you mentioned you have to have somebody that's sufficient enough to run the clubhouse. And I asked you earlier, should that person be exempt from riding? Should it be a retired member? Should it be maybe a member that went down and no longer can ride, or, so those things?
Yeah, there was a comment, man, that just was posted by Todd Gillette on my page. And what he was saying is we've had a clubhouse for 5 years now, waited 12 years till they were solid enough to support it. And that was a smart decision, because ultimately when you look at it, if you're not ready to be able to take them steps, man, it's a difficult process. Now, I don't, if you wear an MC on your back, if you wearing them club colors, that'll zip you from nothing. You should be doing the same thing as every brother that's out there. And that's the separation that I've always been, and I tell people this when I talk about it. Traditionally, the way I looked at it, the way I was taught, you had specific officers. That was president, vice president, in terms of if he was big enough. You had your sergeant at arms, you had your treasurers, secretaries, things like that. That was it. That was it. You didn't have business managers. You didn't have, I ain't even going to say pros, but you didn't have those elements. You didn't have these other type of things that filled these billets, because ultimately those weren't things that we did. You talking about 70s and 80s, people really wasn't worried about clubhouses. Now, people had clubhouses, but those clubhouses were just places for people. They actually were people's houses and places where everybody got together, and motherfucker had a house, and he was like, fuck it, y'all come and hang out at my house. This is a flop house or whatever it is. And so that's ultimately like a lot of clubhouses ended up being people's places is where they lived at, and they just turned them into places where everybody come hung out at. But in terms of when you're looking at clubhouses and things like that, to be able to have that balancing act, you got to be able to do the different things in order to do that. And one of the things that I always, like talk about when I talk about clubhouses and then this and that, I'm like, well, let's do this, man. Here's what we gonna do. So if we want to promote our clubhouse and we want to promote Come to Our Clubhouse, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get on the road and we're gonna start hitting some of these spots. We're going to start hitting some of these little areas, these bars and these things, and let people see it. We're going to start breaking bread with other clubs and this and that. Now, that is, and I will say this without a question, that is a difference and a transition from the 2000 era biker and the prior to or pre-2000 era biker. Because back in them days, you would never see 1%ers and 99 hanging together. That's not what you do. 1%ers did their things, 99s did their things. Now, with the elements of clubhouses, and needing to have these supports and these people coming to your events and doing stuff like that. Now, all of a sudden, you have 1%ers mixing with 99s. You have 1%ers. All of a sudden, you go to a club and 1%ers up in the club. Like, really? Y'all been a club? Like, club? Like,
I thought gangsters don't dance. They boogie right now.
I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the old adage. Y'all in the club? Like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the element that, you would say the 2000 era biker, where, like looking at these elements, you have to have the element. So you go around and you break bread. You go around and you hit these local spots. And I've always been against that. I've always said, like we just can't be mixing companies and we can't be having these civilians mixed in our midst. And that's the element that when you get that clubhouse, and if you're not established and if you're not ready to take on the responsibilities of it, you're going to fail. And that's where you start to resort to those things of, I'm going to go over to this club and I'm going to promote my clubhouse for this weekend. Really? Are we going to a club to promote our place for this weekend and we just going to let civilians in our clubhouse? Anytime you let rats in your doors, you're going to have motherfuckers eating at your damn food. If you guys don't understand that, that's any element that ain't if you're a 1% or OMC, anytime you have motherfuckers inside your midst that is not your people, not your support, not your brothers, you're letting people come in and you're letting them eat your food. Eventually, your food's going to be gone. And eventually somebody's going to come in and there's going to be some issues and problems because once you start letting them rats in, it's going to destroy the house, man. They're going to destroy that foundation. And so those are the things that I try to tell people is, first and foremost, when that clubhouse happens and you get that clubhouse, man, you better be ready to take on the responsibilities because it's a beast, for real.
So when you talk about the 1%ers allowing 99%ers that are not support clubs of the 1%er, let me explain that to y'all. Well, and let me tell you how I take that. What he's saying is that just because you have on a motorcycle vest and you're part of a 99% club, you don't have everybody that understand or respect the level of the rules because the rules have levels. Okay. So when you have a regular 99% person coming to a 1% clubhouse, yes, you act different, you function different, you party different, you do things different. And what he's saying is that if as a 1%er, when you're opening up these clubhouses, because now you have to make money to sustain the clubhouse, you're setting yourself up for failure. Am I correct? Did that kind of?
I mean, that's where it's at, but there are some 1% clubs or OMC clubs, man, that and when it comes down to it, it's not necessarily, I wouldn't per se say it's not, the people you let in your house. It's the elements that you're letting in your house. Because if you've done some thorough backgrounds, you understand who these people are, and these people come to you and say, look, man, we want to just come and support you, do some things with you, man, just break bread with you, man, show some love. That's a different concept, man. But if you going out there recruiting motherfuckers to come in, you don't know what you're recruiting in. And you could be recruiting in rivals. You could be recruiting in people that they coming in taking a look at your blueprint to see what you're doing. And you setting yourself up in those elements. And that's why I always tell the 1% clubs, man, OMCs, man, you got to really be careful when you get to the point where you get thirsty. And when you get thirsty, that's when you make mistakes. Anytime, I can tell you this, man, look, you can turn on any show out there that they done documented, done came up with lies from gangland to these outlaw this or this outlaw that or that outlaw this. every time that you look at this, the first 48, we ain't talking about motorcycle shit. We just talking about regular shit. Every time you see something happen where the cops come in, it's because a motherfucker got thirsty. And if he got thirsty, that means that he's trying to supplement numbers. All of a sudden, it comes to the point where he needs more numbers, and he started letting people in. And all of a sudden, you start letting in them elements. Next thing you know, you got cops in your ranks. You know, this is for the 1% clubs, and y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, that's just how it is. You start letting them elements in, and once you start letting them elements in, that's when your club is basically on the destiny to fail. And it starts from the smallest of processes, and it could just be that element of, man, we just trying to make some extra money. Because, look, I say this 100%, and I say this all the time. Motherfuckers, in 2000, we ain't got no crack labs. We ain't doing no fucking meth labs in the backyard. We not slanging. We not doing stuff like that. Most of these cats out here right now, and I would say 99.9% of the motherfuckers out there in the world, they got a job. They working. They busting their ass, you know, all week to be able to, you know, break bread on the weekend. So these dudes ain't got money like y'all watching Sons of Anarchy and believing that bullshit. That's not how shit works. That's not how everyday people work. So we don't have substantial amount of money to be able to toss in $250,000 to start the clubhouse. It don't work that way, you know. And I would tell you this, and this is real talk. If you ain't got legitimately $25K to start a clubhouse, don't even start it.
Wow.
I mean, $25K to start a club, don't even start it.
So you
that's because you got a lot.
You just broke up the myth of that 1%ers eat off the land, live off the land, they take of the land. And,
oh man,
you know, and everything they get is from pillaging the land. You just killed that, right?
Man, look, the whole thing comes down to it, man. There's two fallacies in this 1% world. The first fallacy is the fact that we all drug dealers and we all basically live off the land. That's just bullshit. Now, there's some motherfuckers that's doing it. That's just real talk. Like I said, 99.9% of the motherfuckers is not doing that. The second fallacy is that Sons of Anarchy shit where there's some butt-naked women running around the clubhouses and you just smashing all you want to. I ain't found one of those motherfuckers yet, and I'm still looking. Shit. If motherfuckers know out there, y'all motherfuckers know where they at, let me motherfucking know, because I ain't found that shit. That's like the holy grail of unicorn. So, you know, I mean, that's how it is, man.
It ain't that motherfucking, what they say, the motorcycle groupie shit, huh? You ain't seen that
Hell
yet.
no, man. Look, if they motorcycle groupies, they 350 pounds. And look, I'm a slim dude, man, but I ain't down with that, man.
So, let me add my 2 cents. I think it's important when you get to a certain level, like you said, the clubhouse has its specific meaning or need. And like you said, when you get to a point to where you guys are functioning and you know, you got to start functioning amongst yourself because the public has taken a sore eye to just motorcycling, period, not per se your particular club. You need that privacy. You need that time when we can get together and talk and do, you know, just be men on some men shit. And you take on that clubhouse. Now, one of the things I think a lot of people make a mistake on is depending on the dues to keep the clubhouse open. A lot of clubs make mistakes on that. They make mistakes on that, thinking, okay, well, we got 25 members, and if everybody pay an extra $100 a month, then we're gonna be straight. And you know, so now you done turn the clubhouse from a fun house into a damn reoccurring credit card bill around this.
Absolutely. A clubhouse has to be said, and I'll say this without a question. That's the reason why I said 25. If you ain't got 25K to start a clubhouse, and the reason why you have 25K to start a clubhouse is overhead. Everything that happens. Because a clubhouse is not going to make money off the drop. You're just not going to make that kind of money. You got to be able to build that that reputation up. You got to be able to build that element up. And, you know, like, again, there's going to be that one or two clubs that are out there amongst a million that they hit the blueprint and it just popped off and they was able to come out real clean. That's not how it works, man. You know, that's just not how it works. And if you get to the point where you become, or that clubhouse becomes a drain on economies and drain on, you know, that's just not how it is. That clubhouse has to be self-sufficient. And if it's not self-sufficient, then you're automatically you're chipping away at the foundation of your club. because nothing destroys a club faster than money. Two elements of that. Two elements: money and old ladies. Those two elements will destroy a club in 2 seconds.
That part. Say, man, we're going to pay some bills and we're going to be right back, man. I hope y'all loving this conversation. If you are, man, show the channel some love. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Call a friend right now and tell them to tune in. Log in on YouTube. Log in on the Spreaker app or whatever app, iTunes, iHeartRadio, the whole 9 yards. If you're on Facebook, make sure you sign up for MC 101 Tradition and Protocol page. It is their page. Go there, subscribe, and just show the channel some love. Also, we take donations. That is how we are able to keep this thing moving and keep it pushing right on along. You can donate via Cash App to $FHOHNIC or via PayPal to fasthardiesonly@gmail.com. Say, man, it's Wednesday night, MC 101, hosted by your boy Two Guns and me, Big Cell. Stay tuned.
You're listening to MC 101 Talk Show. Live. Hosted by Two Guns. Co-hosted by Big Cell. And we talking straight motorcycle protocol. Tune in every Wednesday around 7 p.m. for pure motherfucking facts on FHO Podcast Radio. MC 101, where motorcycling is life.
What's up, Big Cell? This is your boy Passionate from Enlightened Ministry Biker Church from Los Angeles, California. When we're not riding, we listen to FHO Podcast Radio.
Eco One, the superior eco-friendly motorcycle and auto detailing spray. Eco One super wetting and low foaming polymer technology cleans by flowing underneath the dirt particles and lift them away from the surface. All you need to do is spray, wipe, and watch the amazing shine appear. All of this is done with very little time and effort, but the results look like you spent all day waxing your vehicle. Eco One. Don't ride dirty.
What up, y'all? This Big Punch from the motherfucking candy shop. We chilling over here with Big Cell, man, the FHONICKEMMY, man, you know what I mean? All them alphabets, man. But they got all that shit going. Holla.
Select Luxury Cars, proud sponsor of the FHO Podcast Live Show. The most diverse luxury vehicle selection in the greater Atlanta area. The highest quality customer service and unmatched nationwide pricing. Contact Mike Goodall at 678-855-2292 to schedule your appointment today. Select Luxury Cars, trusted family dealer since 1994.
What are you to my Uncle Big Cell in the FHO Radio?
Say, man, it's Wednesday night. We back, man. Merry Christmas to everybody, man. I hope you had a wonderful time. I hope you didn't stress out trying to buy gifts and do things and, you know, all this and all that other stuff that we do during the holidays. Also, I want you to remember everybody didn't have a Merry Christmas. So always keep that in mind, that you are blessed and beyond privileged when you can, you know, function and be in your right mind. So it's Wednesday night, MC 101. I got my man Two Guns, and we're talking about Clubhouse. We're talking about how to understand a Clubhouse, how to manage one, how to have one, what it takes, and also the downside of having a Clubhouse as well. A lot of people, we've gotten into, a lot of people move too fast into having a Clubhouse. A lot of people don't take the time to get the lawyers and to draw up the contracts and to have things understood. A lot of people mislead the owners of the Clubhouse and say, hey, man, I just want to open up a motorcycle shop, when really you want to have a motorcycle clubhouse. So these are different things that you have to be aware of, man, and prepare yourself for it. And understand this: a lot of times the neighbors are against, you know, the noise. It's not so much. Yeah. It's not so much the individuals. It's more so the noise, man. And you know how you got a lot of you guys have not learned how to respect Clubhouses. Turn your music down, pull, you know. So it is what it is, man. I don't want to get started into that shit, but you know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. So I got my man Two Guns tonight, so that's what we're talking about. All right, so let's answer this question. If the Clubhouse is to survive, what does it take?
be honest, it takes luck. I mean, that's just real talk. I mean, it takes, I'll say it like that first off. It takes luck. But in all honesty, it takes planning. And it takes people that you have that have a business savvy. And then if you don't have people that have that business savvy, that's fine. But you need to get somebody that has a business element. So even if you have to go outside of your people to be able to have that established in terms of your clubhouse, that might be an element. You always want to keep things internal, but legally, sometimes you just aren't going to have the people that understand the legal dynamics and things like that. So you've got to be able to get yourself an attorney, the legal representation to be able to do things the right way. Once you've established that and once you've got your clubhouse, in all honesty, I believe in terms of the clubhouses, the clubhouse should promote itself. So as the club goes out and you're going out there doing your thing, if you're out riding your motorcycle as a chapter, as a club, they're going to look at you and go, damn, look at these motherfuckers, man. You roll in someplace 5, 10 deep, they're going to look at you like, shit, these motherfuckers got this shit together. But if you roll in 5, 10 deep and you a soup sandwich, then, I mean, they're going to look at you like that too. So there's a lot of elements in terms of the reason why people come to clubhouses. There's different factors of why people come to clubhouses. It could just be the analogy that, man, they got some fine-ass properties. I mean, that might be a reason why. It could be a situation where they say, yo, them dudes is dropping some knowledge. I know there's a clubhouse here in North Carolina. The process is, if you go there, you're going to get some knowledge. If you want knowledge, you go to this clubhouse. And the funny thing about it is, there ain't a lot of people go to the clubhouse, because 9 times out of 10, they want a couple of drinks, but then they don't really want to, they want to enjoy themselves, have a good time, try to holler at something. And, and that's just the element that we have out there now. It's more party versus knowledge. And that's the reason why we have a lot of people that just have, they don't have the foundations and established foundations, understanding what, from the start, what motorcycle club means. So, and that's where it is right there.
So what do you think about, and I got to be careful when I say this. What do you think about these? Oh shit! Let me see. Fuck it. It is what it is. What do you think about these OMCs that make it mandatory for the community to come by and support on, every first Friday or some shit like that?
I mean, and that's where you establish yourself. You set yourself up for failure, because if you're making people come to these events, they're going to come and then they're going to leave. And what they're doing is not what you're trying to accomplish. So to accomplish a successful clubhouse, the first thing that you try to do, and people don't know my old life, but at one point I DJ'd in a club. And one of the things that I did as a DJ was my man used to do the records. I was the hype dude. So I was the dude that would get up on there and just come up with some crazy ass shit out the box. So I wanted to make sure that anybody that walked inside the clubhouse or walked inside the club, they had a good time. They had fun. We made it fun for them to come there, and they wanted to come back. I always talked about making sure they took care of everybody that was in the club. So everything that I did was about promoting the elements of the club itself and to be able to enjoy yourself at the club. When we used to go out into the community and do stuff, man, we used to go out and I used to take, I would yo, here's the deal. For the first girls or whatever it is, blah, 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 I'm going to hire you to do this thing like that. We're going to take care of you. And so what I would do is I would go out and I would do, not even club, I'm not talking about MC shit. I would do bikini bike washes. I would, hey, yo, y'all come through, man, and get your bike washed, car washes, whatever it was. And I would promote that through the club. And that club went from a very, very small club, maybe 50 to 75 people to 500 max limit, and we was turning people away. And what you have to do and you have to establish is when you get to the club, there has to be something there that's going to bring people back. And if you all you have is you going to fucking come to my clubhouse, your shit's going to fall apart real fast, because individuals are going to come there, but guess what they're going to do? They're going to have one drink and bam, they out. And you didn't tell them you need to stay there and you need to break bread. But then it comes to the point of, are people really there to support you, or are people there just because you're extorting them? And that's where you got to be careful in terms of the OMCs and the 1% clubs, because if people feel like you're putting pressure on them to do a certain thing, you're pushing everybody away. And ultimately, your clubhouse is going to fail, and you're going to find out that your clubhouse nights are not going to be the same. Secondary factor is you got to realize that, man, for every club that's out there in your area, they're doing the same thing you're doing. So if you're in an oversaturated area like Atlanta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the DMV, like Maryland, like up in Jersey and PA and Philly, you're talking about heavy saturated club areas. And those places are going to have different elements, different clubs doing different things every night. One thing I like about Chicago, and I'll jump off the wagon, Chicago does something that is not, it's the anomaly of different places. Chicago actually gets together and people will go from clubhouse to clubhouse to clubhouse to clubhouse. And they will go break bread for an hour and then go to the next clubhouse. And the funny thing about it is I was at the clubhouse and the dudes was like, yo, we closing the clubhouse. I'm like, y'all closing the clubhouse? You just have 300 people in there. They're like, yeah, because we moving to the next clubhouse. So all of a sudden, all those people went to another clubhouse and the club closed their club doors and went with them. And then they came back later on and opened their clubhouse later on that night. But what it did is establish that if you come break bread with me, I'm come breaking bread with you. That's how you make a successful clubhouse.
So this question for you, is the clubhouse for the people or is it for the members of that club?
If it's not for the members of the club, in terms of you being able to have a place that you can break bread, you're automatically failing yourself, because the clubhouse should never be about the people out there. The clubhouse should be about your support network. And so what that support network is, ultimately, as a traditional MC, you should have supporters or support people that got your back. I'm not talking about got your back like got your back. I'm talking about like they got your back. They're going to be there, help you out, take care of you, whatever it is. They see you. You guys is good, this and that. So those people that support you in terms of just supporting you, not wearing support patches and nothing like that, just supporting you. So those clubs are going to be the ones that are going to benefit from you having the clubhouse, because they have a place that they can come and drink and enjoy themselves, and they're around like-minded people. There's nothing worse than going to a bar with a bunch of assholes and you're in a motorcycle club, because ultimately once they see that patch on your back, they're already going to have their preconceived notions of who you are, especially if you're just going to a civilian bar. And that's where clubhouses have their benefits, because it allows you to be with like-minded people that are going to be in the same process as you in terms of that. They're going to have the same likes, going to have the same understandings, they're going to have the same courtesy levels and respect levels. Hopefully they do. And then you're going to be able to get along with those people more than you would go into a regular little bar area, you know?
One of the things I'm going to tell you for me, and the reason why, you know, I can visit and deal with a 1% club. I can. But a lot of people that can't deal with a 1% club is because you're never comfortable. You know, they make you feel so uncomfortable being in there, because you got to walk on pins and needles, and you know, it's just a lot going on. And I think that's one of the other elements. Everything is always dark and blacked out and all this other stuff. And again, that's their lifestyle. That's how they live it, and they're fine and dandy with that. But if you're, like you said earlier, if you're in this thing for a business, then you have to have a business atmosphere. You understand what I'm saying? You know, if y'all own it and this is what y'all shit is, and y'all don't need nobody, then that it can be like that. But don't be mad when, you know, don't nobody come and fuck with you. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, but that's one of the biggest drawbacks, man. That's one of the biggest things that I've seen and that I can actually speak on as far as that is that most clubhouses are not non-OMC friendly.
Well, one of the things that you do have to understand, what I want people to understand, is being in an OMC and being a 1% club, you have to move differently. And the second that you allow or let your guard down is the second that shit happens. And so in that terms of 1%ers, when you see 1%ers, they're a little more cautious and stuff like that. That's an avenue that 1%ers and OMCs are starting to transition themselves to be able to have people around that process or people around there. And this is where you have your tools in your bags. You know, I always tell people, man, you know, like, you have tools, you have your tool bag. And you got to keep the people in your tool bags or your stuff in your tool bag that's going to benefit you. So in your tool bag, you better have somebody that's good at hospitality, somebody that's welcoming.
Yeah.
So you could have a 1% or an outlaw club, and they can have an individual he's just a welcoming person. Hey, yo, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. He's more the negotiator type of situation. And then you have your security dudes. You got your dudes always watching out. But your best face, your face front, is you want to have the people that's going to be there when people come there and make people feel comfortable. Because the less people feel comfortable, the faster they're going to get their ass up out of there.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's at, you know. So if you out there and you say you got sodas, you got drinks, you got food or whatever it is, and you have a little party or whatever it is, you want to make sure that the elements and your party is a friendly party and not a confrontational party. And so that's where being able to have your support system together, you don't have to open your books or your doors to individuals that don't have that understanding. So if you already got your support system set up, it's easy to run a clubhouse because your support system there to take care of you. If you got to open your doors up and let those again, like I was talking about letting those rats in. Once you start letting those rats in, man, that's where you create and cause issues and problems. But you have to understand that 1%ers, they're always going to be on their guard because there's no telling when some shit might pop off. Now, I'm going to say this, and this is real talk. Shit popping off, I mean, that's the anomaly now. And when you look at it, most of the times, we all getting along with each other. There's always going to be alpha males, so you're always going to have an issue like that. But 9 times out of 10, there's always some circumstance or some situation that creates a problem. I hate to say it, but pussy the first one, you know, and another thing is money, you know, and always, you know, I try to explain to people and stuff like that is don't ever do business with your club brothers. Don't ever do business with other support clubs. Because the second you're doing business with them in terms of trades or work or whatever it is, and motherfucker don't pay you, it causes and creates issues, especially amongst brothers.
One of the things too, and again, I'm speaking on this. I've spoken on this before. One of the biggest issues is back when I was single, y'all. The property of in the clubhouses that always causes an uneasy situation. You know, some of the property owners are some badass females, and they're in the club, they're doing their thing, they moving around. Some of them, you know, kind of move like actual members of the club and some other shit. But I tell people like this, man. When you start visiting clubhouses, you're not going to visit clubhouses on no club partying type shit. You basically go in there, man, just to relax and not be judged for, you know, who you are. You know,
break bread.
Yeah, and break bread, grab your drink, and man, you know, and do whatever you want to do. So I try to tell a lot of these young cats, man, when they ask me, like, "See, man, you know, that's why I don't go over there, man, because shit, it's always boring over there. Well, dude, it's not made to be exciting. You're not, you know, mentally, you're not even there yet, and that's what you mean by letting the rats in and letting people in there that don't know the element and all this and all that. It's a different level, man. It's really a different level. Me personally, I go there because I know that's where the knowledge at. I love knowledge, so you know, I know I'm going into the depths of hell to get that knowledge because that's the knowledge that I want to seek. But if you're not there yet, then the clubhouse, ladies and gentlemen, is not where you go to party. It's not where you go to find, you know, the love of your life and all that type of shit. It ain't where
damn.
It ain't where you go to make it rain and all the rest of that bullshit. You gonna fuck around, go in there with a pocket full of money, then you fuck around, won't make it out, get your ass robbed. But I'm just saying. But in general, man, the clubhouse, and I said this before, if you're on a motorcycle, then any motorcycle clubhouse should be the safest place in the world for you. Because
not a question.
Yeah. Because you're on a motorcycle. I said that before, and I constantly said, if you're on a motorcycle, the safest place in the world for you to be should be inside of a motorcycle club, hands down. Because that's what it's about. It's about us. We protect us. We look out for us. The whole 9 yards. It's a us thing. We understand us. So that is where that should be the safest place. The other part of it too. Let's get into this part is that. When you have your clubhouse set up right, and like you said, you've gotten lucky, and you have a successful clubhouse. What do you think about clubs that rent out their clubhouses for public events or to other MCs?
I think it's a double-edged sword. There's good and bad in it. You have to be able to maintain and trust the individuals that are renting out your clubhouses. I wouldn't just rent my clubhouse to any old person, any old club. They'd have to be in my network, and they'd have to be somebody that I trust, because ultimately that's your property and that's your building. What happens in your building one night, you might have had 5 years at a clubhouse, and you guys had the best times, no issues, no problems. You have one fucked up event, and that's all that neighborhood's going to know about. That's all law enforcement's going to talk about. And if anything ever happens, that's just going to be spread all over the news. And so that's where you have to look at it and trust the individuals that you got coming into your area. Now, as a traditionalist, I would say, hell no. But as a realist, I would say in the year 2000, if you ain't did your due diligence prior to that, 9 times out of 10, your hand starts to get twisted. And you have to do things that you normally would not do, like renting out your clubhouse. Because ultimately in your clubhouse, that's your sacred ground. That's your land. It's like, anybody ever watched The Warriors? And the movie about the Warriors was about a gang who was traveling through the streets of New York, and they was trying to make it back to Coney Island. And they understood that once they got back to the island, that they was home. That was their grounds. That was their sanctitude. And that's your clubhouse. Your clubhouse should be your sanctitude. So that should be the place that is yours and yours only. Now, if it comes to the point where you got people that's good and in your network, and it's something that is, that you can control, and you decide to make that decision, I think that's a club decision thing that the chapters have to make. It can't be something that just happens. It should be something that the chapter should make. But ultimately, that's going to you're going to have to make the decision of whether that double-edged sword is going to be either dull or sharp, one of the two, because it can go either way.
All right, I'm going to do this real quick, and I'm going to put you in the hot seat. I got you right now.
Yo, this hot boy.
I'm always in the hot seat.
We're chapter out of Compton, California. We tuned in to FHO all the way from 310 to the 404. Y'all know how this shit go.
What's up? This your girl, Lil Tigger. I'm chilling with my boy, Big Sale, and you'll listen to FHO Podcast Radio. Stay tuned.
What's up, Big Sale? This is your boy, Passionate from Enlightened Ministry Biker Church from Los Angeles, California. When we're not riding, we listen to FHO Podcast Radio.
All right, here we go, y'all. Y'all ready? Y'all know me, man. Y'all know I'm going to ask the tough questions, man. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all ready? Guns. Question. What happens? Who gets the money that the clubhouse makes?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, okay, because I done brought 3 bottles. I brought 3 bottles of Hennessy, half a gallon. You feel what I'm saying? In the clubhouse used it. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't get a dime from that. And it's always Big Sale, because Big Sale opened. He run the clubhouse. He opened up the clubhouse, and then the tips. So I saw somebody tip Sale $5. You feel what I'm saying? So now I want to work the bar, because Sale took $80 in tips at the bar, and this and that, and Sale. I mean, listen, man, I done heard it all, player. I done heard it all. I done heard people mad at me because I done got tips. You feel what I'm saying? But you wasn't there at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, opening up the clubhouse, cleaning it up, getting everything in order, doing the inventory and all the rest of that shit. Yeah. All you did was you came to the party at your leisure. You feel what I'm saying? At your leisure. You came to the clubhouse at your leisure, and you just happened to be sitting at the bar, and somebody says, hey, Big Sale, man, this is for you, man. Thank you for hooking me up. You feel what I'm saying? Now you want to work the bar because now it's the issue. So now here we go. Now we want to start counting the money from the alcohol, and we want to start questioning everything. Where does the money go? Where the money go, and who gets the money, and do we ever split the money? Because like I said, I brought a case of beer, and I only had 2 beers out the case, and the club made $1 million, and I need to get my part of that.
So the first thing that has to be established is the rules and regulations of the clubhouse. And that's where a lot of clubs fail, because they don't establish these rules and regulations. So when I was looking at, in terms of the clubhouse or whatever it is, and when I was a part of initiating the clubhouse and purchasing the clubhouse and getting the clubhouse, the first thing I said was all monies, anything that comes into the clubhouse goes back into the club. Now, anybody that brings any liquor into the club, you bring your receipt, and that receipt is your cash back. I can tell you this without a doubt, and this is real talk. I've probably spent and given easy $10,000 in all the time that I was in that club, and just food, and just beer, and just liquor. I never worried about getting the money back because for me it wasn't about the money or getting the money back. I was putting back into my nation. I was putting back into my club. Anybody that's ever known me, anybody that's ever said that, they'll never tell you that, oh, Two Guns brought a half a gallon and wanted $70 for it. It ain't like that. If I bring it, that's to the house. It goes to the house. That's just the person I am, and that's how I always will be. So you got to establish them rules and regulations. What I would do with any tips is I would say, and I used to work the bars and stuff, I would say, here's the deal. Don't tip me, tip the fallen bros. So if I got a brother that passed away, that went to put some money on to take care of his funerals, or went to put money back into his wife or his girl's pocket. If I was doing something like a bro that was locked down, don't tip me. Here's a tip right here. Tip this. So if I needed to put some money on a bro's commissary, he had money on his commissary. I don't care how long he locked up. I had a bro that was locked up. He was serving life, and that motherfucker would never have to worry about his commissary. Every week he had money on his commissary. That's just how it was, and we made sure of that. And so I always made sure, or I was always looking at that and saying, you don't ever want to have an element where people start pocket checking, because the second you start pocket checking is when that mistrust is going to happen. And I can tell you, man, that pocket checking and motherfuckers,
starts going shit.
Yeah, that pocket checking, man, will destroy a club real quick, because the second that, like if you putting in work and you at that clubhouse, and I would say it like this, if you're at that clubhouse and putting in work and you doing everything and you doing all this and this and that, you got to do that for your heart. You can't do it for, well, I'm just trying to do this or trying to do that. You got to do it for your heart, because the second that, it gets to the point where it looks like you get taken advantage of, you're going to feel some kind of way about it. So I never worried about it. If I was there at 8 o'clock because we had a party at 6 o'clock, man, one more I used to be like, man, your ass is at the fucking clubhouse 8 hours before the fucking party. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm trying to get everything situated and set up for whatever it was and this and that, so everything ran smooth. And so a lot of times it burned me out, and a lot of times it killed me. A lot of times I was stressed out about a lot of different things. Ultimately, what it comes down to, man, is the second that you start, or people start questioning, pocket checking, looking at drinks or whatever it is. Man, I had it so detailed, man, that I had a pour count. Look, for this bottle, this is how many drinks we're gonna get out this bottle. So if all of a sudden we like 6-7 drinks short, we got to have a conversation with the pour master. So, you got to have that dude. You got to have that guy that is saying, like, this is how much money we need to make. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. Sometimes, you need that Russian motherfucker that's, you're like, I'm going to tell you, man, straight up, them motherfucking Russians or them motherfuckers from, like, Ukraine or whatever it is, and you come to their money, you better have their motherfucking money, because they come and check it.
The other question I got for y'all, I got you in the hot seat now. The other question I got for you: anything that go on at the club, the sergeant at arms is responsible for all security and safety of everybody inside the club. That means he is the bouncer. That means he is the, everything you like and don't like about the club. I tell people this all the time, and I want to know, do you agree? If you don't have members strong enough to be able to defend, protect, secure the clubhouse, you are in trouble. You should never have outside security at your clubhouse.
Hell no. No. Let's put it this way, man. If your club ain't strong enough to protect itself, you shouldn't have a clubhouse open. I mean, that's real talk. It's your fucking house. That's like somebody coming to your house. man, taking off his pants with his drawers on, balls hanging out, motherfucker sitting on your sofa. So, like, you gonna let motherfucker do some shit like that? I mean, that's not how it is, man. If you can't protect your house, you can't protect your house. There's nothing worse, man, than bringing in outside security or having people coming in that are not affiliated with your club. And I can tell you this without a question. I've seen it. I've seen this turn into a nightmare where you got outside security that's doing security. Now, look, I'm going to tell everybody, like, look, I've had millions of fucking jobs. I've done jobs just to do jobs. I've bounced. I've been a DJ. I've worked, man, moving furniture, you name it, military, 20 years. I mean, I've had a job. I was always a hustler. As a bouncer, your only job is to handle shit that's going on in the clubhouse. So if you had a situation where you in bouncing mode and a motherfucker head hit a wall, hey, my bad, dog. You shouldn't have been acting a fool. And if you have that element in a clubhouse where all of a sudden you need to have bouncers or you need to have outside securities, or even worse than that, you need to have fucking law enforcement. You need to have, look, I saw a party and these motherfuckers had cops as security. Cops. So what do you think is going to happen with that scenario in that situation? I mean, you are legitimately setting your people up to fail, because those cops are going to do what cops got to do. And what cops got to do is abide by the law. And they ain't going to worry about the fact that, man, we're going to get this person's keys and we're not going to let him drive or whatever it is. No. The second he goes sit on his motorcycle, that's DUI. They ain't worried about none of the rest of that stuff, man. The second that you get into an argument or a confrontation, the second one punch is swung, you going to jail for assault battery. They're going to do their job. You don't ever bring anybody outside your ranks and put them in charge of your security, man. Never.
All right, last but not least, here we go. Now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I got to be careful how to say this one. Down here in the South, in Atlanta, we see this a lot, where the 1% of the OMC or the dominant feels like they can come to your clubhouse and regulate, check, or question your guests and or your visitors at your clubhouse.
Man, they should, that's faulty, man. And I'll just say it like that, is you should never have anybody that's coming to your clubhouse and checking your club, any members that's coming to your clubhouse. And what it comes down to is understanding that if there's a situation or a scenario where somebody's disrespected, or a situation where somebody gets out of pocket, that 1%er should go to that host club and say, yo, I'm going to let you handle this first and foremost. Now, there does come a time when motherfuckers just come up and act a fool, and you got to do what you got to do. Now, if it's a situation or a scenario where you go in there rag checking motherfuckers, that's not the place for you to be doing rag checking. You know, I mean, look, I've been to 1% clubhouses, man, and I've done everything I can do not to check a motherfucker. And they will come up to me and start talking. And I'm like, look, just leave me alone. It's about to get ugly, man. Leave me alone. And, you know, and you know, the 1% come to me afterwards like, man, what, you know, hey, man, I'm sorry, man, it got to that. And I'm like, look, I was trying not to say nothing to her, man. I was trying not to. And she came over and I was just like, look, I'm trying to enjoy myself and I'm trying to, you know, this and that. And next thing you know, she's saying she want to have a conversation and sit down with me, and you got a motherfucking blue vest on. I mean, come on, man. You just, you're not, you know, I can't do that, man, you know. And I tried everything I could do to walk away, and she kept fucking following me, and I just had to let her go. I mean, you know, got a blue motherfucking vest on, and you about 300 pounds, man. I mean, come on now, you know. I already knew she was riding a motorcycle.
I'm saying down here, man, we have it. It's a real big thing, man, down here where it is a 99% party. Or 1%ers come, and like you say, I call it. They get, I call it the patch police. They get the patch police and all. You say rag checking or whatever, and they're surrounding people and causing and disrupting the party. And now the party that went from shit to shine. I mean, from Shinola to shit.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, when you do that as a 1% club, and this is just real talk, when you do that as a 1% club, you ostracize yourself because now nobody wants to fuck with you. And you may have people intimidated. You may have your support system. Your support system might be 100 motherfuckers. But guess what? If you wasn't pass checking motherfuckers and acting stupid, you could have 600 motherfuckers. Wow. And that's the separation between if you really get to the point where you out pass checking motherfuckers at a club, your process is not there to go and pass check motherfuckers. It ain't like that, man. Your process is to go there, support that club so that they'll come and support you. Because ultimately, if you're not there for that, and if you just rolling around, going out to parties for 99%, I'm just saying, man. Hey, look, 1%ers and outlaws don't do that shit. And if that's what you're doing, I mean, that's on you, man. But I'm gonna tell you this: traditionally, 1%ers and 99s didn't fuck with each other. They didn't hang with each other. We was in different circles. Yeah, we didn't do that. And so if that's what you're doing, and you out there trying to hang out with the 99% because the 99% got pussy, or the 99% got hoes, or the 99% got this, and you a 1%er or an OMC, man, that's fucked up. Because what you should be doing, you should be out there like, yo, here's the deal, man. I'm going to look at it like this. If I see a vest and it's fucked up, I'm going to go to that person and I may say to them, hey, man, look, I would like to talk to you about just some elements about this MC world. Here's some information. Here's my number. Hey, man, holler at me and I'll get back with you. And we'll sit down, man, and we'll break some bread. And that's a place and a time that you sit down and have a conversation with somebody about, yo, man, I saw you with a diamond on your vest and it had a 24 in it. Like, some crazy shit, because motherfuckers be coming up with some crazy shit nowadays. Or I saw you wearing a Nomad rocker and, you got two people in your club. That's where you do that. You don't do that in mixed company, because you could go up to a motherfucker and be like, yo, you got this on, you got that on, whatever it is, and you surround them. And that motherfucker just say, oh, okay, now I feel like I'm threatened. I have just cause. All of a sudden, you got motherfuckers down. Well, just trust me.
I had a question.
Your ass ain't motherfucking bulletproof.
I had a question that was asking me because a person asked me this, and I have been surrounded before, and we ain't gonna say who by who, whatever, but I have been surrounded before, and I stood my ground. And like I told them, for me, at a certain point, once you ask a certain question, for me, the motorcycle shit is done. We done with motorcycle shit. Now we on some disrespecting a grown man type shit. You feel what I'm saying? It was motorcycling up to this part right here. Now we at this part, it's fuck you and whatever else it is and whatever it's gonna be is what it's gonna be. But down here, man, in the South, we got that real bad where it's just getting ugly. It's just getting to the point whenever you see them at a party, like, man, fuck, it's time to go, man. These motherfuckers have showed up. And for me, when the clubs call me about it, I said, dude, that's your fault. Because, number one, they get in free. It was 30 of them. We had to let all of them in free. Well, that's your money that you giving up. I wouldn't.
Hey, that's your money.
Yeah, if you ain't strong enough, like you said, if you ain't strong enough to tell them, hey, player, whatever it may be, that's on you. But and I think I'm gonna probably be done with it after this. All I'm saying is this, man. At the end of the day, like you just said, if your club is not strong enough to be in the public, to deal with the public, and to be able to defend itself from the public, then you just need to stay doing your own thing on your own little level.
Absolutely.
And quit inviting people to your clubhouse, quit inviting people to your events, quit trying to bring other people around that you can't protect. And we're going to leave it at that, because at the end of the day, I'm mad with you if I come to your party and something happened to me. Y'all got to see me.
Yeah.
Period, point, hands down. I come to your party and somebody get at me, then y'all got to see me as well. It's y'all fuck y'all too, fuck them, and it's definitely fuck y'all too. So, but I don't know, man. When it comes to this clubhouse shit, and we didn't even get into the other topic. We can if you want to, but when it comes to this clubhouse stuff, man, huh?
I mean, I'm gonna just say it real quick, man. So like people can hear whatever it is. It ain't got to be nothing. We ain't got to get too much into the topic, but I mean, I can drop that real quick if you want me to.
Do you think?
All right. So one of the topics, man, and it's just so people understand. I didn't just one day it popped in my head miraculously, and the Holy Grail and the music started playing, and the horns started playing, and all the shit, and all of a sudden I had all my knowledge. Shit didn't happen that way.
Definitely that ain't
my knowledge came over 40 plus years, man, of being around motorcycles. It came with 25, almost 30 years now on the set. So I've had enough conversations with enough people and enough things and done enough background research. Actually got a chance to talk with some cats from San Francisco Motorcycle Club, 1904 representing. And so, here's a situation that's always said, and I always look at it and I say this, that shit's on the Mason-Dixon line and over. And it's one of the things that's progressed in terms of, a man's club versus a motorcycle club. And there's a lot of people out there that are putting out falsified information. So we can get this out the way. And actually, 1903, Yonkers MC, which was up in New York, established and published, basically incorporated Yonkers Motorcycle Club. The actual patent or the actual incorporation says Yonkers Motorcycle Club. So Yonkers MC. So that's pretty much establishes MC stands for Motorcycle Club. You can't lie about that. It's history. It's right there. There's pictures, there's documents. All the information's there. Once it's been coined, i.e. MC means Motorcycle Club, later on you can't come out and say, oh, MC stands for Man's Club. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. You have to look at what was established first. I would challenge anybody to go back in history, show me some documents, show me some information where it ever said or ever established Man's Club stands for MC. You ain't going to find it. You can do it if you want to, but I'm going to tell you first and foremost, I went and tried to find it, and all I found was that it's progressed with certain clubs, and certain clubs that was in the South and towards this area that established the Man's Club. And what I heard from an individual was the Man's Club was established because they started to see more women getting into riding motorcycles. One of the women groups that's really significant is the Motor Maids. They came out in probably the 40s or the 50s. I don't know what the establishment was, but I think it was in the 50s. And they established a motorcycle club that was addressed. There's another motorcycle club, Leather and Lace. Huge club. I personally know the lady that ran, what's her name? She actually married one of my former nation's brothers. I married him in Florida. Anybody that knows Leather and Lace, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So these ladies established, and they are blessed, to be honest, they're blessed and sanctioned by every major 1% club in Florida, and that's what established them as a motorcycle club. You can be upset and angry and pissed off about it or whatever it is, but when you start to establish that it stands for Man's Club, then you're falsifying. You're saying you're basically lying, because MC has never, and it never will, stand for anything more than motorcycle club. Now, the argument's always been, and theoretically it's true, that MC or motorcycle clubs were dominated by males.
Hands down. That's damn. You can't
hands down fact.
Yeah. Okay.
You even have to argue it. And the funny thing about it, which is hilarious, is if you look at it and you really look at who was riding these motorcycles, it wasn't us. It wasn't the average ordinary motherfucker that was riding it. It was rich socialites that had enough money to buy a motorcycle. They were cafe racers. They were people that had money. They didn't give a fuck about no MC, no motorcycle club. They didn't give a fuck about putting it on a slab or riding or whatever it was. They established these motorcycle clubs as a way to profit and make money in terms of racing and things like that. The AMA was big on this. So when you start to argue and talk about Man's Club and blah, 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 and this and that and blah, 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 you got to be factual about it. You got to be true about it. It will always stand for motorcycle club. Now, is it a man's club? Is it a thing like that? You can say back in the day it was, but shit. I mean, come on now. You talking about 2016. After 2004 with Biker Boys, man, I'm talking about I've seen nothing more than just an absolute explosion of women on the scene. And I mean ladies that put it down. I know a group that rode from Chicago all the way down to Lafayette, Louisiana just to go to a party. Yeah, I can't get motherfuckers in a state to go to another fucking city, and you got these ladies riding from Chicago all the way to Lafayette, Louisiana, 14 hours to go to a party.
I took 6 females from coast to coast from the start of the 10 in Florida all the way to where it runs out in Santa Monica.
So, you know, and so when we address it, and I address it and I always address it like this, traditionally, MC motorcycle club stood for all male. Everybody had a functioning bike. This was your MC, and it was American made. Now, again, we're not gonna argue about the American made, blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck about that. Look, my uncle had a fucking Honda, and that motherfucker had every part and every fucking thing you could do to make that motherfucker run. That's just how it was. You know, that's how they was. They scrapped these bikes together, put these bikes together, did everything you could do to make the motherfuckers run. In all honesty, in Oakland, you wouldn't see motherfuckers riding Harleys. They was riding Hondas, Kawasaki. They was riding any fucking thing they could get their hands on because motherfuckers was broke. Motherfuckers didn't have Harley money.
Yeah.
They had whatever the fuck they could ride. And so nowadays you see people and, you know, they got all these beautiful, pretty bikes and all this shit like that. And they forgot about the foundation of what the fuck we was doing first. First and foremost was riding your motherfucking shit and enjoying yourself and breaking bread and doing shit like that. That's what fucking MC is. It ain't about man's club, women's club, this club or that club. It's about getting together with like-minded motherfuckers and riding your bike and enjoying yourself. That's all it's about, man.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this question and we're gonna get up out of here, y'all. Down here in the South, I'm gonna say from Arizona all the way back up to Maine. Women motorcycle clubs can be recognized as a motorcycle club, but only if they spell out motorcycle club. They can't put the monikers MC on their vest. Have you ever heard of
that? I didn't hear that till I got here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I had never heard that. And the reason why I never heard it was because women weren't in MCs. Yeah. They weren't in motorcycle clubs. And that's what it is. And I can say that without a question is I never heard that. So when I came here and somebody was like, yo, they supposed to spell it out. I'm like, where the fuck y'all get that from? Because tell me, I just want to know where in history did spelling out motorcycle club come from? Because I still haven't found anybody or any processes that can show me where it is established that, you know, that motorcycle club is spelled out. Now, I can tell you without a doubt that in Florida, that was a big push at one point, was to spell out motorcycle club. It was huge. It was huge because I was in Florida when it was happening. I know that a lot of clubs in the South, not Mississippi, but in Atlanta was one that I heard about. Tennessee was one that I heard about, was huge. I don't think they give a fuck in Texas. But probably in Texas, you know, but you're looking at Arizona, New Mexico, you got different people that's running those areas. So when you have one element from Texas all the way over that's running shit, they don't worry about fucking women spelling shit out or doing shit because they don't recognize women. And that's one of the big five clubs, and they're not going to recognize women. That's simple as that.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at different elements of these clubs that are recognizing women on the set. Because I'm just going to keep it 100. This is 100. The white boys, I ain't recognizing women on the set. They not.
Yeah.
If it's a big five, old school, white side, they not recognizing women on the set. They give them they just do. Hey, it is what it is, but they don't really recognize women on the set. When you come on the other side, that's a different story. Now, I don't know where it came from. I still haven't found the foundation of it or who started it. To be honest, man, I would love to find out because I would like to be able to say, this is what I heard. Because right now, all I can say is that was some shit that was said on another page that nobody could tell me who the fuck said it. Real talk. It was something that was promoted and pushed on a page about 2013, I think it was. And I have no clue who started it, who processed it, who pushed it, who established it, who did it. I can't. I've asked. Every time I ask, motherfuckers get quiet.
Well, I'm going to leave you with this, man. We're going to get up out of here, man.
I'm from Missouri, man. You know, look,
show me.
I'm Oakland, but I'm a Missourian.
Well, it's the same thing. I've done the research. You're not going to find it because I've been doing the research too, but I'm going to leave it like this. And this is the question I'm going to ask you. I ask anybody. I'm not asking you too much, Guns, but I'm just saying I'm asking the world. I'm going to leave it with this. What is the difference between an MC and a motorcycle club?
Man, that's deep right there.
Yeah. You tell me, if you can show me, if anybody can break down and tell me, what's the difference between an MC and a motorcycle club? What's the difference between if I put MC on my vest or if I spell it out motorcycle club? What's the difference?
And so I would go back to what was established as an MC. And so in order for you to wear MC, you had to be all male, had to have all on bikes in the chapter, and you had to be American made. That established you as a traditional MC, and that gave you the MCQ. That was history. Now, how they're doing it now is completely different. It ain't like that. So how they do it now is basically kind of just, hey, it is what it is. People slap on MC and they do whatever they do. So nowadays, you would say that question, you say, shit, I don't fucking know. Because what really does? Let's put it this way. What WMC?
So let me say it because I mean this listen, and I ain't trying to. No, I'm just saying I'm trying to be funny, man. I'm not trying to be funny. But is it? Look at that though. Who did WMC? But listen. Isn't HA a motorcycle club? Isn't Rare Breed a motorcycle club?
Absolutely.
So
yeah. Here's one that I've said, and I say this as a traditionalist. I still think that women don't have, they just don't have a place in this life. As a realist, I say if they're going to fall under the same category as us, and they're going to put MC on their back, they should have adhered to the same standards. So the dominants need to start pressing that. It's like, okay, so if y'all want to be and wear MC, here's what you need to do. You need to have all women. You need to have all of them on bikes. Ain't no fucking bullshit. We ain't got no 50-20 or whatever the fuck that was, 90-80. I don't know what the fuck they were coming out with that 50-20 shit.
Yeah.
Never heard no shit like that either. 50-20. Like, what the fuck is y'all talking about, motherfucker? It's 100% on bikes.
That was the 80-20 rule where 80% of your members had to have motorcycles and other 20 didn't have to.
That was some bullshit, whatever it was. I don't give a fuck who it is. It's 100% on bikes. It's 100% on bikes. You don't have no motherfucking cheerleaders. This a motherfucking MC. They ain't no fucking cheerleader. So if they gonna fall into that shit, they should adhere to the same standards we adhere to, and just keep it 100, man. Because you're not getting rid of women in this shit, man. They not. They here. So whoever let them in the house, you fucked up. I got love for them because I got daughters, and I can tell you this without a question. My daughter is going to be on the motherfucking slab. She is going to be on that slab. I can't keep her off my fucking bike, and she already trying to ride the motherfucker. And I'm like, and she's 12. So it ain't a question whether my daughter's going to be on the slab and she's going to be riding. And I would afford her any opportunity to be able to be a part of this lifestyle and love this lifestyle as much as her father does. Real talk.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this, man. FHO, I got my wife. We got Don. I got some females, man, that I'll choose and I'll run circles. I'll ride damn near the best of the best. So I don't have no problem with it. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna leave y'all with the question of the day. I want this the homework for the week until we come back next week is can somebody tell me the difference between a motorcycle club and an MC? That's the homework for the week, man.
That's a deep shit though, man. That's a deep shit, man. That's deep
because Hell's Angels is a motorcycle club. Mongols is a motorcycle club. Rare Breed is a motorcycle club. Next Level is a motorcycle club. If we're all motorcycle clubs, then how can you say, well, they can't rock MC? They just have to spell it out motorcycle clubs. Well, it's the same thing. And actually, to be honest, if somebody is looking at them from the back that don't know anything, they're gonna definitely know that they're a motorcycle club and question what you are.
Yeah.
Because their shit says motorcycle club.
Well, they ain't got no knowledge itself.
That's what I'm saying.
They ain't got no MC knowledge itself.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But they should say motorcycle club, and your shit just say MC. So, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you're looking at the cube, man, and that was the establishment of the MC cube, man, and that's the criteria. And that's the reason why I always preach about this, man. That MC cube used to be the holy grail. That MC cube used to establish, man, that you were a presence on the motorcycle set. And now the MC Cube is just giving away, to be honest, it's giving away sometimes at the highest bidder. And in a lot of cases, it's giving away for a support patch. And that's not what it should be. I mean, that's not what we should be doing. It has to be about remembering history and continuing the history in terms of traditions and protocols, man. That's just what it has to be.
Say, man, I done took up too much of y'all time. Enjoy your Christmas, man. And me and my man, Two Guns, man. We on tonight, man. Listen, man, don't forget, Homework for y'all. I need somebody to tell me the difference between a motorcycle club and an MC. On some real shit. I've been trying to get to the bottom of that. Mr. Two Guns, I love you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you, brother, for spending your Christmas with us, man, and dropping this knowledge like you do, man, and just being honest with us, answering the questions, allowing us to ask you the questions. Also, me and Guns are thinking about adding a show where we'll be going over all of the questions that you guys ask during the week. And we're going to try to pick a day where we can, some of the questions that we get on there, a lot of times he doesn't get the chance to go on the page and personally type in the answers. So we're going to be picking some of the questions from some of the topics from MC 101 and from from these Wednesday nights. And we're going to be answering them and trying to get you guys more and more knowledge, man. So, again, he's stretching himself out, man, and reaching out and trying to give you guys everything that you need to be productive and effective, man. But listen, man, a hell of a night, man. Y'all learned a lot of shit tonight. But like I said, the homework has to be done. Somebody got to tell me what's the difference between a motorcycle club and an MC. Hey, it is what it is, man. It's your boy Big Sale, man. Two Guns. Hey, brother, we love you, man.
All right, man. Good talking today, man. Appreciate y'all. Be safe out there on the twos.
There it is, there, man. Y'all stay tuned, man.
What's up, Big Sale? This is your boy Passionate from Enlightened Ministry Biker Church from Los Angeles, California. When we're not riding, we listen to FHO Podcast Radio.
What up, y'all? This Big Punch from the motherfucking candy shop. We chilling over here with Big Seal, man, the FHO, NICKEMMY, man, you know what I mean? All them alphabets, man. But they got all that shit going. Holla.
What up? This is Chris from Exclusive Sounds. When I'm not doing music on bikes, I'm tuned in to the FHO Podcast Radio.
It's your boy, Big Self, FHO's HNIC, Mr. Him Be Everywhere.
I'm enjoying my motherfucking life. That's all I'm saying. I advise you to do the same. Do shit that make you happy.
See, man, you thought we was playing. We on live right now. FHO is a lifestyle, a movement, grown folks' business.
God damn. Hey, it's Big Sell. What that mouth do besides tell the truth on FHO?